Okay, folks, it's been a few weeks since we had our last look at matches, and indeed one controversy has sort of subsided a bit, and we're moving into the latter stages, a couple of replays, lads. So before we move on, though, I think we need to talk about cardboard coffin. Cardboard coffin opens our eyes to the real life issues that are hurting people. Yeah. So, can you enlighten us now? And I'm not being smart.
Right, but Cardboard Coffin, it was a play written by Valerie Masters from Ballymahan, and it's a very serious play as opposed to what I usually do, which is comedy, but this is a serious one about suicide, homelessness, domestic abuse, all that type of thing. And it was very hard hitting and very deep, and 3 nights in the Bogland we did, and it was just the feedback was just great, and it was just an amazing success. So we're going back again. I think I'm talking to Valerie now, and we're trying to get back into the Bogland for middle of
December. Very good. In terms of gender balance, like, would there be an equal number of men at these as women?
Yeah, I was very, very surprised the amount of men that were there.
Yeah.
The amount of men who similar age to me, maybe late 40s, early 50s, who messaged me afterwards and said it had a profound effect on them.
Yes.
And several people who have been affected in their own lives by suicide, by domestic, and it hit home, you know.
You know, I used to think years ago that everybody was happy, or 99% of people were happy, you know. But then I got a bout of depression, and since then I've realised that 99% of people are only coping. And that we're covering up our mask and stress, anxiety, that all those things people suffer from, but they're not, you know, they try and work through them. But at some stage it comes and it hits them, you know. Yeah.
And for that hour of that play, there was complete silence. Everybody just bought into it. It's such a well-written script that Valerie wrote. It was unbelievable.
Yeah.
And it just pulled people in. And the Bogland is such a lovely, intimate theatre that you're up there, you're nearly on the stage, you know. And the visual with syringes and with drink bottles and all of that, you know, and a park bench, and you know, it was a brilliant script, and without the script it wouldn't have been a success. So well done to Valerie.
Very good, Jimmy. So
we're lucky in the sense that we have the GA to take our minds off all these type of things, because it's a great uplifting thing. You know, a lot of lonely people out there, and it must be very hard. People living on their own at home.
Yeah.
And at least the GA has that offer, brings everybody together. Huge community effort.
Yeah.
And then, of course, we had the climax of the weekend with the county final, which we ended in the draw, so we have to go back again next week. But look at.
And that'll kill you, Podgy, wouldn't it? You know.
You don't like draws, but actually back to draw myself this time, because I couldn't call it. I really couldn't. Of all the years I was born, I could not call this one. It was that tight. And there has been threatening draws the last few years. The county final is generally very tight in Longford. But there was no separating these guys, and fair play to Abilara in the sense that Colin Kill had a one-legged slip, and that man Robbie Smith saved them. So look, at the end of the day, they have to do it all again next Sunday.
So your headline and the back page, is that a contradiction? I'm not sure. But Abilara and Colin Kill must meet again for the title, so that says it all there.
Simple.
Just and we wonder, are people watching or listening to us three here? We're out in Abbeytrue.
Of course they are. We're what you call a sage. Now, not sage onions, but a sage.
Country.
But the amount of people who, because we haven't had a chance to do it for the last couple of weeks because of everybody other commitments and that, and they're all asking, where were you? We haven't been on, and why didn't you do the show? And you know, they're watching.
Yeah, it's just on that, like, there's a huge commitment of time and effort in trying to get everybody in place and getting the matches from Clubber, and you know, it's not easy, and it's always, you'd like to do it better sometimes, but sometimes you just have to run with
People
it.
love it, that's my point.
And I think, you know, and it's great. We all enjoy it here. We have a bit of crack. This is our men's shed activity, you know what I'm saying?
And we're in Carrick-Edmond, and Carrick-Edmond had a big say in the championship this year.
Is this Carrick-Edmond?
Well, this is their area.
Is it? Because I was going to ask you, there's no
clubhouse
football.
down there, the Rustic Inn is their clubhouse.
Yeah.
So Patrick Cahill is in there most nights, I think.
But football, there's no GA pitch in the parish of Abbeytrue.
Well, it's in the Carrick-Edmond, Coyle Hill.
It is, yeah. So it's because I was thinking about that coming down. I says, God, it's unusual. But look at inside that page, second last page, County Junior champions again as Grattan's come out on top. Podgy, that was the Junior A final.
There was a good lot of interest. Well, there's always interest in the junior final, particularly when two solely junior clubs meet. But it didn't happen this year. Liga didn't make it through. Lower Slashers, they surprised quite a few. The big fancy Kilo team in the semi-final. Grattan's have been there before. They're a bit of a yo-yo club. They won the junior 2 years ago. They played intermediate last year, straight back down. But they had to fight tooth and nail for that last week. Slashers, the intensity that Slashers brought to the game in the first half was unreal. And you know, it was very entertaining.
Yeah, it was.
And
Great
I
match.
think maybe the fact that Grattan's been a solid junior club will be training all year, where Slashers will be just coming together, getting lads nearly to get a team out in the group stage or whatever. Wouldn't have had near the work obviously of the solid junior club, and it's kind of showed in the last 50 minutes where Grattan's finished stronger, they were fitter. You know?
And just something, lads, there, you know, it's a lot of these things are costly to organise and all that, but a shout out there to the Rustic Inn and Eddie McGoy for sponsoring these championships, the Junior A, B and C championships. Just a word there. Also then Hanley's Motors for the senior competition, and indeed other sponsors, I suppose, Lennon Brothers, Pierce Park and all that. Yeah. So then on another page, Farrell goal crucial as Cashel captured the Junior C title.
Yeah, it's a very entertaining game, I have to say. The Porrick Farrell, the elder statesman out in Cashel now, but he was always a really good footballer, Porrick was. And for him to be playing in the junior C level, like, you know, you'd expect him to make the impact. But the man that stood out for me, and Cashel won by 6 points at the end, was Gerald Dinnigan. You know, he turned in a super performance. He was playing midfield. I think he's an ex-county footballer. He played with the county, and he scored 6 points, 4 from play. And not far behind was Shane Bannon. If I'm not mistaken, I think he's the son of Dinny Bannon, the great Dinny that used to play with Cashel. Back when Cashel were dominating.
Yeah, the late 80s or early 80s.
You know, them and Edgerton had a lot of old battles, Jimmy.
Yeah, great battles back in the 80s.
Ironically, Cashel are now junior club, as it turns out, because they were relegated. And but they'll bounce back like they do. They go through them cycles, you know, and but Cashel go hard now to be in the junior, because really it's not a junior club. Like, you know.
Yeah, it's tough to get out
It's
there.
tough to get out there, because Ireland might do it down as well now. Another well-established senior club, and then again back in Edgerton, back in the early 80s, those first battles. I think one of them won the 3 games.
Well, that was Ireland Edgerton in 1985, yeah.
You know, so as I say, that's great to see lads getting football, in my opinion. Like lads that never get a chance are getting a chance in the competition, and they're calling it the championship, which it is because it's a group stage and the whole lot. And they get as much crack over there than the Navan, you know, or the B for that matter. And best of luck to them, you know.
Yeah, I was listening to James Skelly when he was you know, the after match speech or talk, and you know, he was definitely uplifting. He was thanking everybody. Like, it's not just the players themselves, but also the team around them, for want of a better word, all the people involved. And they are as committed, and for them that is as important as, let's say, the senior men's championship match. You know.
It's a championship in the day, it's a title. And James, he reminded me of his father a good bit when he spoke. He'd never finished.
Sorry, James. Myself and Jimmy are not saying.
Martin goes on, but he gets the message across. So like father, like son in that regard. But look at the proud GA men.
Yeah.
And I was on the Martin after the match. Jesus Christ, he was like a child. He was so excited.
Yeah.
And you know, particularly with his own son. If it was my son, I'd be very proud.
Yeah.
Regardless of what cup it is, to actually.
I was sitting beside Martin for the senior final, in between David Hanley and himself, and has he some connection with Abilara? he was going mad for Abilara. He was nearly kicking every ball with Abilara. So I don't know whether he has some connection or maybe just a few pounds.
Martin likes to have a bet. Maybe,
Maybe that was it.
But if he'd followed the wise man, he'd have back to draw.
I just go back to the Grattans and Slashers. Like both of them is unique enough, both of them being from the same parish.
Yeah.
But even more unique is that the Cole O'Connor for Slashers and Bo O'Connor for Grattans are brothers, and they're playing against each other in the championship. You know, not often you
Sons
see
of Barry.
that.
Barry, sons of Barry.
Oh, he's
Big Barry used to play with Troy.
No way! I didn't know that.
Barry,
I went to school with Barry. Yeah.
He'd give you. He was a great man to pull him out of the sky.
I didn't realise that's.
The more than 2 youngest.
You don't know why, or I suppose it's only personal reasons that they're playing.
Yeah, well, you see, I say Bo had been playing all along with Grattans, I'd say even at underage, and obviously he's stuck with them. And like we were always blamed over here for stealing the best players.
Yeah.
The best players over Grattans. Grattans have a great setup there. They have a lovely ground and they've redeveloped it, and they're a very progressive club, and they deserve a lot of credit. And the title is the icing on the cake for them now, because. Like it's lovely to see a club like that winning something, and
lots of young players there as well, Podgy, that you know they could hold their own, maybe stay up in intermediate, maybe, you know. And I was talking to John Hand afterwards there, and just interviewed him after the match. The captain, he had a fine game there for, and that's what his hope is, you know. And advanced there over them, you know, doing a lot of work. And as you were saying earlier, they had the whole year to focus on that, whereas Slashers were probably, some lads would be lost to the senior team when they played senior, couldn't play junior anymore, and they, you know, wouldn't be able to focus. So for Grattan's, the stepping stone, hopefully they'll be able to stay.
So, Podgy, just now, you know, I know everything about football.
yeah, you're from Kildare, mate.
Yeah, the Slashers team. So would that be their second string or a third string team?
Well, that's a good question. We'll call it a second string.
It's their second, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, but there'll be lads, the senior squad would have lads that could have 10, 12 in the line, and
Yeah.
none of use high subs, like. But they see they'll be tied, wouldn't they, Jimmy?
But they have to regrade lads.
Yeah.
So there are a certain amount of lads that play in the senior that
Can't come down and
can't.
Like there's a young fella there now, and I say he's a young fella, he's married and he has kids now, but Ian Walsh was tugged out. Am I wrong?
He was
You know, and
yeah.
because it's a long time since I saw Ian playing football, and I know he's busy with work and kids and all that sort of stuff, but it was great to see him getting back. And obviously,
so they say, like, and it was a decent enough footballer.
Yeah.
You know, is he his son of Michael's?
Mihal and Myra's, yeah.
Yeah, you'll have worked with them in Ballymena.
Oh yeah.
But you look at all, like for the likes of Slashers, for the likes of Granard, Carrie Kedmond, that have a second string team, that's a great boost to the whole setup in a club as well, because the lads that maybe not just getting on the senior panel or getting on senior games, well, at least they're playing football all the time. And you know, you're building them into better footballers, so it's a great feeding for and for the older lads to still enjoy a bit of crack of it, maybe can't make the senior team anymore, play a bit of junior, keep the thing going, but it's a great stepping stone for clubs to have that second string team going.
Oh, so that's very important, like, you know, to have the lads coming through, like, you know.
So there was a second deadlock, Carrie Gedmont and Granard in the Junior B final deadlock. So Jimmy, I don't know whether you probably weren't at that game, were you, Jimmy?
It was a soccer match in Kinnegad on Saturday, and I didn't get either of those, and I nearly...
Very good. And was it your son playing?
He was playing for...
Well, did he win?
For Innie, for Street. No, 1-1.
And did you do any analysis for him or anything?
I didn't know it was free, because it was a very exposed pitch out there in the Calucan Road out in Kinnegad. It was a wind blowing.
It was very cold Saturday.
It was a shock. Yeah. So I didn't get to this game. I'm just reading Pádraig's report there, a draw, look at it. I don't know, were you at it, Pádraig? Maybe you know better.
Yeah, and again, I suppose the draw was a fair result. Carrie Gilman got a goal there in the second half from Conor Kelly. You know, there's a lad that's probably good enough to play with Carrie Gilman seniors. And it looked like that's it, they might push on. But I think Granard came back and scored 4 or 5 points in a row to lead. Gonna give away a gift goal, brought the boys back into it and finished the draw. Actually, the equaliser came at 54 minutes and there was no more score, so you couldn't argue with the fact that there was nothing separating them. So they're meeting again, replays Friday night, out in Kilo at 8 o'clock. And whoever wins, and I think Patrick Camanus is up in the second half.
Yes,
You look great in the jersey.
So well.
And tell us, Padgy,
like you're running into him now.
and tell us, did you give her an assignment to be reporting live during the match? No.
No, I mean, Patrick, with things coming to the end of the season, I do take most of the matches myself. But Patrick's great help now, don't get me wrong, he writes for the leader.
Yeah.
But I couldn't very well ask him to do anything when he was
No, but he was like a young child running onto the pitch.
He was
so excited.
Yeah, but he was. This man has to start the next day, I think. No way. There's no way.
Well, in the dark Friday night now.
In the dark, but
like in the dark.
This man has to. This is a game changer now.
It's a pity for them because if the senior game hadn't have ended in a draw, they were the curtain raiser to the intermediate final. It would have been a bigger occasion for them.
And they couldn't play Saturday in the park because the Carrigaman ladies are playing on Saturday in the Leinster.
Yeah.
So rather than have that clash, and they decided.
And they wouldn't have 3 matches in a row on Sunday, no.
Too early for the first one, and you saw that with the ladies' 3 finals. Like the junior A final was at 11 o'clock in the morning on a Saturday. And I know, look at the ladies want to get into Pierce Park and to accommodate them. That's what you have to do, I suppose. But it was a pity. It was a great game, Mullinyacked there, and oh, Jenny, got on my head now.
Well, not the Ballymore.
Ballymore, yeah, sorry. Ballymore. So, you know, for 3 games at this time of year, you have to start too early in the morning.
It's good to hear not to drink because I never made it up other than that.
Very good. So let's get on to the main match, lads. So
there's a supplement in the middle now where you can start that, Jimmy. Jimmy, I called you Jimmy.
Yeah, that's okay. I've been called worse. Enjoying the.
That's the mid-joke, but this is the actual replay now, for the drawn match.
All right, okay.
That's your report.
Yeah, so just there, we'll show people there's a nice montage of events. I think it's great this, you know, people at the match getting their reactions. Yeah. We'll hope to do bits more and more of that as we get better and better with cameras and all sorts of stuff and mics. But so Colin Kill, their title slip as Abbey Lara snatch a second chance. So Podgy.
Yeah, as I say, we thought it was over, Jimmy. Now let's be honest. When Cathal Riley stuck that ball over the bar, but Noel Farr, the point he got before that.
But how did they let him walk through?
They let him walk through. He was already over, and then they let him stood back. And they let him go and go. And the minute he kicked that point, the ball, he knew that was over the bar.
But he tested the water a few times before that. He came forward a few times, and he probably says to himself, I'm not being picked up here. I'm getting as far as the halfway line. Nobody's picking me up. And if you watch it, I watched the replay back a few times. Slowly within, and I don't think he realised himself, they're all pulling away from him. Open the whole thing up, and straight over the bar.
Straight over.
Yeah, but he's an outfield player most of his career, so he knows how to stick the ball over the bar.
Former defender, like, you know, and he's versatile. Well, there's no substitute for class.
He's really good.
Class player. And then when Cathal Riley, that's an unsung hero, that Cathal Riley.
Cathal had a great season. He's had a great season.
At that pitch last week.
Really did.
You know what I mean? That's the fella he's some engine.
Yeah.
But he kicked the super point.
That was great. That tight angle there.
That's it then. It's all over.
And I saw Conor going off like he thought, this is it, we're in injury time, we're 2 points up, there's no going back, we're county champions, you know. But by Jenny.
And then upsets Robbie.
Yeah.
And Robbie to the rescue, so to speak.
Yeah.
You know? And great player too now.
But Abbey Lara this year, they're a different team, and look, they've always had good players and that, but I think, and we talk about Frankie Dolan and Garvin as well, the influence they've had in Abbey Lara, I think they've given them that resilience and that belief and that enjoyment in playing the game that we're never beaten.
No, never.
You know, we're never beaten. And I saw it early on, I thought it was against Dramard over in Columkill, where they were a point down in injury time. Beaten Dockett nearly, came back and scored 2 late points as well to win that game.
You know, so they've done that already.
Well, they did that already, they did it.
And all their matches they won, they're only by a point or 2.
Yeah, and they're always scored 11 or 12 or 10 points. They've still only scored 1 goal in the championship. And they're in a replay of the final. Now, and I know a lot of people were complaining that the first goal they scored there in the first half was pulled back but the whistle had gone, so maybe the Columkill players had heard the whistle.
And Frankie, in his piece this week, his reaction with Tony G, Tony does his reaction stuff for us there, and he says they should have gotten a penalty when I think it was Enda Mackin blocked the shot from Conor Berry.
They're right.
I didn't think.
I thought it was a wonderful block. I
That's
thought.
what I- but it-
And for what reason?
Because he was on the ground. He looked like he was after smothering it on the ground. You know what I mean? Like, I take it that's the one he's talking about, is it?
Well, that's the only one, yeah. And I just thought it was a wonderful block from where I was sitting. I thought it was a wonderful block.
That was in the back of the net.
But then Barry missed another one where he just couldn't get his fist to it as well and just missed it, you know. But talking about the two Barrys and both quality footballers, you know, now Pádraig is probably nearly 40 years of age if he's at it now. Conor is younger, but they played them. The first time they played the two of them together was in the semi-final. It worked well for them. This time, I suppose Colin Kill was ready for that, and they stopped the supply of ball into them. And I mean, I never really got that quality ball into the pair of boys, you know, because if they get it, they'll do
Conor
damage.
is getting. To me, he didn't make that much of an impact against Kilo, but he made more of an impact. He's getting better because the more games he gets.
That's it. Yeah,
This is a man that was the outstanding minor in 2015. We got to the Leinster final.
Yeah.
And Conor Berry was the star man on that show, that Leinster team, that minor team. So, like, if he ever hit it off next Sunday, he's capable of sticking the
Yeah,
ball.
like he's had two competitive games under his belt now in a row. So, yeah, improving.
Pádraig is always there to work on the
Yeah.
ball.
I thought maybe better to maybe bring Pádraig in rather than start him, maybe as an impact sub coming off the bench, maybe with 15-20 minutes to go. I'd say he'd give any team a lift. They do that with Nigel Rabbit, I suppose. They bring Nigel in with that 15-20 minutes to go, you know, and Nigel had an influence when he came in.
He must be very lucky not to be on the team.
That's what I'd be thinking.
This
I
is
think.
scored and forward.
Yeah, but
this fellow can score 2 or 3 points at least in a match.
Yeah.
Whether freeze or play.
Lads, just something, there was an incident during the match where the ball was kicked in, at least I think it was this match, and one of the Colin Kill men went up and tried to make a mark, but then it was disallowed. Can you explain to me the whole idea of a mark, what is allowed and what's not allowed?
Well, there's two marks. There's a mark from the kick out. So you catch it in the middle of the field between the two 45s, you can claim a mark from the kick out.
Right.
Or there's an offensive mark where you catch the ball, has to travel 20 yards, and you have to be inside the 21, kicking the park, isn't that
You
it?
can't be in that 2/3 of the pitch.
Yeah, it has to go a certain distance and you can claim the mark. But you have to claim it as well.
Right.
You know, you have to put your hand up
Yeah.
and claim it.
Yeah. So if you don't afterwards, is it, when you
As
land?
soon as you catch the ball, you have to claim
Oh,
your
right,
mark.
yeah. Because there was an incident and it wasn't allowed, and I was just wondering
So
what the reasoning.
either that the ball didn't go far enough, he wasn't in the right zone, or he didn't claim the mark.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
could
I
be
don't think.
different. I can't just
I'd say he
remember
probably
the-
didn't make a claim because I didn't see the hand
Yeah,
going up, you
so
know.
maybe that was it.
It's just we had a camera right there to get it, and I was just wondering why the umpire disallowed it or whatever, you know.
There's one thing about Colin Kill there, and they had a great start, and let a couple of high balls in early on, and I thought Kevin Kelly was very nervous in the Abilara goals, and the goal, the only goal Barry McCone got, you know, they never give up on a high ball coming in. A lot of teams don't follow that ball in. Barry followed it in, and it dropped, and there was a confusion between them, and he got his foot to it. But they've done that in other games as well, where they've got goals from just hopeful balls, Fergal Jordan and follow it in, or whoever.
It was a feature, I was struck by, you know, the goalkeeping over the weekend. Like, there's some fantastic saves in some of those matches. Now, I can't say whether there was great goalkeeping in this, but I think in some of the other matches.
Well, it's the junior final, Ruben.
Yeah, like there were.
The one that he carried over the bar, you wouldn't see it in the Premiership.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we got a point out of young Kaz and Derry. It was heading for the top of the net, and Murray pulls him, just makes this save.
But there was another one where he was out with the goals and Ryan going, and next thing you got the leg across and kicked it out of the way.
Like it's great to see, and particularly, you know, the way goalkeepers are usually never mentioned too much. But I was very impressed over the weekend with some of the goalkeeping.
Yeah, but I just thought Colin Kill, when he was a little bit nervous in the goals, they should have kept pumping ball into him and maybe put Fergal Jordan in there on top of him as well, you know. But he settled down well and had a good game after, you know. It's not an easy place to play. And the nerves in a county final too.
So lads, so for the replay there, now the managers, I presume they have access to the video and they can look at it to their heart's content. But do you see any change in approach maybe from either of the managers in terms of the game, Podgy?
No, not at this stage.
Yeah, it's hard.
I couldn't see it now, you know. Abilara won't change anyway.
No, that's the way they've been playing all year, and it's working for them.
I said after the first match game, what impressed me was the structure that I had, this disciplined structure, that they weren't going to give away a cheap ball.
Yeah.
and the way ahead and the way ahead and the way ahead. Now, sometimes it's not great to watch, lads, when all these passes and the whole lot, but they'll wait until they have an opportunity for a score in a decent position.
Now, it was a cagey final, Party, but I thought it was an entertaining, and from a tactical point of view, I thought it was intriguing what both teams were doing, and they were both composed. Both teams were composed enough after a little jittery start, maybe, you know. But after that, they knew what they were about. They played the game plan that Gerard Carberry and that Frankie Dolan had given them, and they played it very well. Apart from the last couple of minutes for Colin Kill, you know. But look, there's nobody to blame for that. I know the young mulligan there will probably be seeing that pass to Colin P. Smith in his sleep. You know, why didn't they kick it long? But you're spur of the moment. You do what you think is the right thing.
Ironically, at the end of the day, I think that there was still a bit of time left for Tony Gaffney, the referee, to actually give Abbey another chance.
Well, he called 2 minutes and there was 3 minutes played.
Yeah, so like, even if that ball was kicked wide and it came back up the field, who's to say that Abbey wouldn't have got the equaliser anyway?
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like,
you'd hope he's not kicking himself or you know.
Well, they can't even order the line because they're going to get bumper attendance now because they had the intermediate final beforehand.
Yeah.
And they're two strong areas.
I was talking to a fella, and a fella messaged me Sunday morning. He says, "Is there any?" He was booking tickets online. He says, "Is there any concessions for students or over OAPs?" And I said, "God, I haven't a clue." And I met him at the match. And he brought his wife, his adult son, and his elderly parents, €125 for 5 tickets. He says there was no option for OAPs or €125.
I think there might have been a reduction for fibre for the students and the old age pensioners. I think now, because Declan Shanley he works with me in the Laffer Leader and he does the gate, he's done it for years. And he says there was some sort of a reduction already. Right. I think it was 25 in and out.
25, yeah. He paid 125 for the 5. You know, he said he had another son left him at home, he wasn't paying 150. So, it's just expensive. And I suppose they're calling out for a reduction this Sunday, but now with the intermediate final on, can you really, you know?
No, and the fact is, they could have played that intermediate final on Saturday, and on that they didn't because the next Sunday was supposed to be about the intermediate final, and it was their day. So when the two of them are together, intermediate and senior, it's a great day.
It's going to be a huge day.
It's going to be, the crowd's going to be much bigger.
Yeah.
Was there about 2.5, Jimmy?
Probably that, yeah. There's a nice crowd there, but
it's going to be bigger. You can add another. And
they'll come in early, and they'll get the 2 matches, you know.
People, the neutral and the Colin Kills in particular, and Abbey, well, you know, they'll want to see the intermediate.
Absolutely, it'll be a good game of football.
They can chill out on the terrace, watch the match, and then move into the dressing room, get ready for the yoke. You know, it's good to buy the time. Like
yeah, I have to say it wasn't spectacular, the weather, but it was lovely from the point of view. It wasn't raining, it wasn't too windy, you know, it was a great atmosphere. You know, I just thought. So Podgy, thanks very much for. Podgy has given us his prediction already on the paper, because if we were asking him here, it'll probably take 24 hours for him to come back. So who will win the replay? This is written by Pádraig O'Brien, and lo and behold, he has a prediction, and it's not a maybe, and you know this and that and all that. You know, they're not a bad team overnight type of stuff. He's gone with Colm Kill. So why would you be gone with Colm Kill?
Because if anybody knows me now, I'm not changed. If I went, the team I went for the first day, I'd stick with them. You know, I just think I have the experience of winning it 2 years ago. And see, there's a doubt in Abilara's mind. If we get rid of this doubt, they lost 4 finals in a row. It must be hanging in there all the time. And nearly lost again. Now, the last time the county final finished in a draw, Jimmy, it was Abilara Mullinaghta. Ironically, Mullinaghta went on and won the Leinster title, huge achievement. But Abillara were hammered in the replay, but were hammered by a really super team.
Yeah.
You know, the best thing was always going to run in the replay. It was a wet day the first day, it was 6 points all of it. It was an off, and I'm glad in ways it was a draw. But they have the players, and they have 2 players in particular, and we've been lauding them for most of the year. They've made a huge difference to Abillara in the last two seasons, and that's Kieran Scanlon and Caelan Lynch.
Okay,
these are 6 footers, and these fellas are quality. And then of all the rest of all the experienced players, the first cousins there, the 2 Mastersons.
O'Brien and PJ,
and they have, of course, Colin P.
Yeah.
You know, they have Fergal Batchelor.
Michael McHugh in the corner back, I thought he said they're great. The Keane and Russell Brady.
You know what I mean? You know, and then have the Berries.
Yeah.
So they have all what they have.
And
Nearly
Jared
dead in that
Mulligan,
final.
Martin Mulligan to bring on if they need them, you know.
Huh?
Yeah, you talk about Abilara, right, losing the four, like the last one was 2018.
Yeah.
Is it really still in their head? I don't think it can be, Parry.
Well, it's much the same players, Jimmy.
It is, but it's 6 years ago, you know.
But you have to get that out of your head. Like if you could, I'd say probably the neutral might be hoping Abilara will win because they lost that many, and Colin Kill don't win that many. I think when after 2002 was 2008. It was 50 years before that.
Yeah.
So
They're not easy.
everybody is saying it's a breath of fresh air to see the two teams that are in the final contesting for the County Cup.
I mean, you've only two, haven't you?
There's 22.
Two, yeah. Both of them
And Colin Kill has 7, but their 7 goes back.
Yeah, back into the early.
I think they're winners of the very first ever county title. The records that show.
But I just think now that Abilara, right, Colin Kill played a county final 2 years ago, so most of those players have experience of county final day and know what it's all about. For the Abbey lads, right, 6 years ago, some of them never played a county final before. I think now that they went into the dressing rooms having rescued the game, they're happier, and you could see the body language on the pitch afterwards. Abilara were happier coming off that pitch. Colin Kill were distraught. In their heads, they've lost the county final, you know, and can they come back from that after 7 days? They have the players, absolutely, they're well capable of doing it, but maybe mentally that, Jesus, we should have the Connolly Cup, you know, we should be touring the parish rather than coming back in. For Abilara, they were gone and they came back. And for that last point that Robbie Smith scored, and Robbie, he had scored, I think, 5 points before. I don't think he had scored from play before that, had he? That was his only point from play. But the minute Colin P. Smith got it, for a man of his experience, didn't panic, gave it to Nigel Rabbit, man of his experience, didn't panic. All the time they were getting it over to Robbie Smith, who was the man to kick that ball over the bar. So the three of them, the 3 right players in the right place at the right time to get the draw. And I think they're happier.
Well, actually, enough they're happier because they were beaten.
Yeah.
So who would you go for, Jimmy?
I'm going to give Abilara the edge on this Sunday.
Right. Well, time will tell.
Time will tell.
And now I was going to ask something
Now,
there.
we're going to get a finish too now. If it's
Has to be a finish, yeah.
Well, if it's another draw, which is quite possible, so get your money on now, boys. The extra time and then the dreaded penalty shootout.
Penalties. So we
Which
saw
happened
the
in
Leitrim
Leitrim
one
last week.
Yeah.
They said it was huge excitement, but
Aye.
not the way to lose.
But for the players, they geez,
Not about to lose a
imagine
county final.
missing a penalty in a county final.
You know what I mean?
Like Vincent Kieran still hasn't forgot his penalty miss in 1985. And that wasn't a penalty shootout, that was just Tommy Gallagher, Lord of
There's
Mercy.
not that much never going to end.
There you
It's
go.
3 games. Well, anyway, so,
And just what we're talking, I suppose we mentioned Jimmy Riley there from the Colin Kill who passed away, and my own clubman Tom McLaughlin as well, two legends of both clubs, just to remember them as well, you know.
I mean, a great friend of my father's.
Yeah,
He
would have
used to
been.
drive for a snow cream. He used
That's
to
right,
say,
yeah, the milk run,
We
yeah.
always doing a Saturday, we were all right, we wouldn't be stuck, but things were bad, we were great back then.
Oh, you'd be all right.
And
You'd have a
he'd bring us in
tab for milk.
he'd bring us in a couple of bottles, I mean, keep us going, Mick, you know what it is.
And
So the
another
same
chap,
way,
another
up
chap
in
now
Ballina.
I knew years ago, friend, Tommy Riley from White Rock. I don't know.
Tommy,
Yeah,
Tommy was a great soccer player and a great Gaelic player.
yeah.
You know, and played with Shride. Played with Shride, he was one of the best ever players.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a three great
Very
old
skillful player,
legends, you
like,
know. Yeah,
But
that'd be-
look at it, it's sad when friends go, you know.
Absolutely, as the fella says, as Brendan Riley would say, they're beginning to take from our pen now, you know. They're beginning to take from our
What do they call it?
pen.
The departure lounge, isn't it?
The departure lounge.
Oh my
just-
God,
just-
the flight is delayed. The flight
I
is
don't know if
delayed.
Jimmy's in that. Maybe
never know.
You're definitely in there.
Well,
Like we get the early flight.
next time we meet, we might start talking about our medical issues. So I was at my cardiologist. Were you at a diabetes clinic?
I was, and I had to get
Yeah.
rolled out last week. I was like Dracula in the
Yeah,
nurse.
and you know, I had a prostate scare. Luckily enough, everything was okay. But for you men out there, because men seemingly, make sure you get yourself checked out for all these things, prostate, the whole lot. Don't be sitting at home waiting for things to. So just before we close, lads, any of you, particularly those supporters of Nabilara, and indeed anybody interested in handball, there's a big tournament there in the Abilara this weekend. Well, on the Saturday, they were originally Saturday and Sunday, but they had to compress it because of Abilara playing on Sunday. So if you're interested in handball, go and see it in Abilara. But also Mixed Media will be streaming live from the courts there. So if you tune into our channel, you'll get some of those matches. What's wrong with you, Jimmy?
I thought you said we'd be streaming live from the courts. I said,
Well, we can stream live from the courts. The courts are huge.
handball courts.
Yeah, the courts are huge. It's a fantastic facility. Unbelievable.
Jenny Mahan is.
Jenny Mahan, yeah. Jenny's a past pupil of mine.
There's a write-up in the paper this week about it, I think.
Yes, yeah.
It's great that actually promoting that she keeps the whole thing going for Abby out there.
Yeah, and something I just heard, she was Volunteer of the Year, was it last year?
Last year she did. She got one of those
Yeah.
the awards from the county council.
Yes.
That we run in conjunction with the council, get offer leader awards, but the county council, they push this every year.
Yeah,
There's people in sport, the lesser lights, they're forgotten about.
Yeah.
And this way you can honour them, you know.
Yeah.
So that's coming up again at the end of November.
Yeah.
So you'll probably be nailed for that too, will you, Mick?
Are you saying I'm going to be given an award, or I'll be doing the presentation? Do you think I'll be given an award?
I told you before now, but you're sort of a go for it.
So, look, folks, thanks to everybody. Are we?
Intermediate final.
Oh, for God's sake, Jesus. Sorry, intermediate final, lads. What's the story on that, do you think? So,
Well, I think, look at this, it's the two best intermediate teams in the county are competing in the final, I think, you know, even though Father Manning Gales got a fair scare against Ballamore, and fair play to Ballamore coming up from junior last year, and really gave them a scare early on and got a couple of early goals there against them. And I know they ran out of steam and eventually the best team won on the day. But Connolly's really, I think, under Michael Lynch there, of course, Niall Sheridan managing, you know, he'll have them right. But I think Connolly's probably have been the strongest team, Barry, throughout the year. Probably have to be favourites for that.
They won every game in the group.
Yeah.
And I think they won every game in the group last year. And look, they had a county final one last year against Kenya. There were 6 points clear coming up to half time. Conceded a goal. Conceded one in the early second half. And it never happened after that for them. So, like, having said that, it was a draw coming up to the end. I think Darren Carberry might have kicked the 45. Darren Carberry was huge for...
Huge loss for Keane.
He's not playing with Keane anymore. But he was great. It was some bonus to have him. He won the intermediates with Killashee as well. Connolly's have been knocking at the door. They haven't won a title, you know, since 1989. Can you believe that? Connolly's. Like, they're a club with a rich tradition. And, well, you talk about rich traditions. I tell you, Father Manning Gales much have the richest of all traditions, because they go back a long way, and they were a great senior team. They've done 3 in a row in the late 90s, and as I say, they'll come in their droves now on Sunday, because they really get behind their team, and Ball for that matter too, the Ballinlee people. And as I say, like Gales lost it 2 years ago. Ballymahan scored a goal most time up.
Oh yeah, that one, yeah.
The Connolly's lost last year, so someone is going to bring home the Jerry Hennessy Cup on Sunday evening. Barren draw.
Yeah, I just think that the quality of Connolly's they have, they should be senior with the players they have. County players and more county players than a lot of the senior clubs have, you know. And they're probably as good as maybe 3 or 4 of the teams playing in the senior championship. But you have to get yourself up there, and you have to do it and go up and compete up there. It's no good saying we should be up there. On Sunday they have to do it. But this will be a time when I can, you know. It's hard to call. Probably Connolly should win it, but
well, luckily enough, again, Podgy, he obviously is learning his lesson. He has submitted his prediction very early, so we're not going to ask you. We can read it on the paper. It's Sean Connolly's for anybody who's interested. And I suppose you backed these from the start as well, did you?
No, well, you see, unfortunately, when I start making predictions, the other crowd does, the opposition does be delighted.
Yeah.
I reckon the record isn't great.
They
call it the kiss of death. So it's a thing actually people ask, who are you tipping? And they really tell you, don't tip us. It's just, it's a kind of a pressure thing. I don't know why it is, but if you kind of run a team down, it gives them something to throw at the opposition. Then they I won't be winning a county title for anybody. Then teams around at the weekend, it's down to themselves. And in the case of Connolly's, I mean, they look to have the better balanced team. I think they should win. Gales are very good forwards, having said that. The two Cassidys, Conor Keenan was brilliant in the semi-final, and of course, Pádraig Hill.
Well, Pádraig's having a great year.
He's evergreen, he's some engine, he's a great pace.
Pádraig Colm there in the goal.
Paul Paddy in the goals, and then, plenty of experience generally through the field. Like, Big Niall then. Big Niall is training, Big Niall Sheridan's training, coaching Gales, and Michael Lynch is coaching the Conleys. Now, Michael is he's a brother of
Catcher Lynch, the comedian.
Yeah.
So he would have been down to see Mohal, I said.
He's Mohal, yeah. And for Big Niall, it could be a great day for him if he could win with Drumleash and then
I'm
win
just
with
thinking,
Abbey.
Jimmy, if we could get chatting to him, we might get Jimmy to go down to his sister for a workshop on how to do comedian work.
I'm on the serious road now, Meg. But
the comedy didn't work, and obviously you got the message.
In the case of Big Niall, once Abbey Narrow won it the last time, Big Niall got a goal after 10 seconds against us Slashers in the final, and they won, and then got the man of the match. And now he has Abbey Narrow in the senior final, and then he's managing Gales. That'd be some double.
Be a great double for him, yeah.
I think the last man that
to win the man of the match.
Win the match for Conleberry won it. Remember they lost to Killow in 2015.
Oh,
and I think it's a very rare occasion it goes to the member that was.
Oh, he was
Conleberry man of the match.
Who got man of the match on Sunday, part? Do we know?
No, there's no man of the match. It carries on.
Oh, right. They don't give it in the draw.
No, it's forgotten about now. This is a whole new ball game, Jimmy.
So it didn't give a man of the match on Sunday. All right. Okay. I was just wondering that.
I think if there was a man of the match, for Pig Ireland, I'd say Caelan Lynch would have probably gotten it.
He scored some great points, some brilliant points.
And for Colin Kill, Barry McKeown, I suppose.
Barry, Colin Riley did well there.
So. But anyway, that's all.
But it's going to be a great day of
football. Sorry, Jimmy, just now to cross all the
prediction.
the T's
Sean
and the
Conley's.
dots. Sean Conley's. So you're the same as Podge.
Yeah, I think they should win by 3 or 4 points.
Yeah. Very good. Lads, anything else now to...
Yeah, the ladies' Leinster Club Championship starts this weekend, and the 3 county champions are out. On Saturday, Carrigaben are playing Kill from Kildare up and playing at 1 o'clock. Then at 3:30 down in Kilkenny, Ballymore are playing, or Ballamore, as they love to be called, are playing Muckalee. Now that's a tough match because there's only the senior championship is the only championship in Kilkenny, so they're playing the senior championship.
Right, yeah.
So that's a tough match for Ballamore. So it get very hard, and particularly having to travel. And then Longford Slashers, 6 in a row champions, are playing St. Lawrence Mullingar in Michael Fay Park at 2 o'clock on Sunday for a place in the semi-final of the Leinster Club Championship.
So would Slasher still be in a strong position? Would they be favourites or...?
Not in this company to move up a grade or intermediate. This is a lot tougher now.
Yeah.
I fancy them to get over Lawmans now. Lawmans stopped Milltown. Milltown were going for I don't know how many in a row.
The Lomans will be strong then.
They're a young team apparently, and you couldn't take anything for granted against them. And look, we're taking one step at a time, and if we can get over this hurdle during the semi-final.
Just to talk about Longford Slashers there winning 6 in a row, and I suppose it's 8 in a row really, because they came from junior to intermediate and 6 senior titles. They haven't been beaten in the championship in 8 years. And what I saw against Dungish in the county final, I think they're improving.
Yeah.
There were no weaknesses there, and they were never under pressure against Dungish. To be honest with you now, I didn't think so watching it. They're just quality footballers all over, and they lost Claire Farrell. Unfortunately, that poor girl gone to Liverpool. Like it's an awful sentence, already. But we wish her luck over there at the slot. Lorraine of Alex Ferguson on his $2 million a year. I don't know what's wrong with them.
We're suffering now.
But
our legends, I think the whole of Legends shows for United, don't they?
Oh God, they don't. No, you know. Like when Jerry Lynn will find out all about it.
In the old days, we'd be shot for talking about a foreign game.
And I mentioned there to Mostrom, of course, Longford Slashers sent us down to Division 2 of the league. But the last time we won the championship in '92, we were in Division 2 in the league. So be afraid.
Forever optimist, Jimmy.
Well, very good, lads. So, look at, as the fellas says, lots to look forward to, particularly this weekend. Lots going on. So, thanks again, lads, for coming here we're in the yard here in Abbeyshrew. Lovely setup, lovely facilities. John, who looks after the place, very amenable, very cooperative, very friendly. So look at until the next one, we'll probably have a review.
Can I do a Columbo? Just one more thing.
Yeah.
It was great to see Mike Solan there on Sunday at the county final, and and it's great to see Enda McGarren is in with him.
And
He's there. I was talking to Enda. He says he's involved as a selector.
Minor manager.
Yeah. So great to see him there, and it was great to see the minors getting their
I was there Saturday night there, and Mick was there too.
Streamed it.
Streamed it, and it was great. It was a big family occasion, you know. It was about the players and their families.
Yeah.
And because people forget, like, you know, the parents are brilliant because they're bringing these guys to matches since they were knee high, and you know, anyone with more than one, and even like, you know, they're traveling all over the county. And it's great for them too.
And it, you know, the pride, like, you know, a lot of the parents there, you could see they were beaming with pride. You know, it's a sort of it's a great thing for them to have it recognised, I suppose, you know, in a formal occasion.
It was great to see it, and hopefully it'll happen again. And you never know, but as I said, it was starting to. My man was doing the commentary, what you call him, from and he just. Asked me to do the raffle, but I think it got snooker on it because he asked me a few questions, and it just says that we punch above our weight in Longford, and we've done remarkably well.
Beat Dublin twice.
Beat Dublin twice, and you can't argue with that. So we're happy, and we're Leinster champions, and should look us.
Right, lads, very good. We'll see you, as they say in the business, next time. Good luck. Thanks, lads.
Thanks, Mick.
Now, lads, will you put back all those tables for me?